No, I'm here. I am in Minneapolis. Hey, guess who I ran into tonight? Becky Fine.
What do you mean you know me?
This is essentially the story of one of those nights that you meet someone and maybe start to fall in love.
I was really excited or attracted to the idea of just putting that conversation against this backdrop, this city.
You were in the army or something?
I head back tomorrow, back to Afghanistan later in the month.
So they spend this one night touring the midnight streets of Minneapolis.
But I just keep thinking, what if this is it? What if this is all we get?
Our hope is to try and capture what it's like to spend one of those nights with someone. Because we've all had nights like this. Sam Rosen plays Casper, a soldier who's home on bereavement leave.
He's a great actor and he's a really fun acting partner, and I think his success is now growing, and that's really exciting to see because he deserves it.
Zoe Lister-Jones plays Rebecca, a grad student who has maybe just messed up her career.
We knew that we wanted to make this movie with Zoe. I had seen her in a couple other things. She is extremely talented. Sam has worked with her. He was actually played a small role in Breaking Upwards.
It was just like hanging out with a friend for 20 days, you know?
Michael Imperioli plays a small role. We really liked him for this role of the professor, and I don't think he isn't necessarily looked at in that role.
Josh Hartnett plays Patty, Casper's bike messenger punk friend.
He really wanted to work with Sam and Zoe and was excited and supportive of our project. Ultimately what it was is that he liked the script and he liked this particular character. It wasn't something that he got a chance to do very often, and he did a fantastic job.
I love independent film. I like making movies with friends and that feel very much like a community effort.
I worked on a movie called 4 Boxes with Brady and Nobody.
We had a really good working relationship and kind of had the same vernacular in terms of like talking about the films we liked, talking about like what influenced us.
I really respected how well he did his job and his vision, and even as I was looking for ideas and thinking about how we were going to get anything done, he was always in my mind as somebody to collaborate with. And so we had this idea for a play that I thought would make a really good movie.
I just became involved in the beginning of the process, reading the script. It was great because we're friends, and because he and Nat wrote it, I think it was written the way that we speak.
We're just gonna be like friends tonight. We're not gonna kiss or anything.
Who says I even want to kiss you? I was getting a lot of calls to come back here and work in these small films, and they just every time were a great experience. And it really just got me inspired to start working in that vein.
Came into town, sent me an email with the script, and was like, "Hey, are you interested in working on doing something like this?" And I loved the script, and I immediately saw it as a story that I knew how to tell.
And he was just like, "Yeah, let's do this." And I had been a part of these things where I was just so inspired by people who were not waiting. They weren't waiting for anybody to tell them when and what to do. They were just doing it. And like from that moment on, we were just making a movie. Huge fan of the whole aesthetic. And the title obviously comes from the song Stuck Between Stations, but it's not the story of the song. I really just take so much inspiration from Craig's writing and how he tells stories and the picture he paints. And, you know, it's more like just an idea I had about what that song meant to me. You know, not being here nor there, you know what I mean? Leaving maybe, but not knowing where you're going to get to. And it's just a moment. It's a moment in life that I can relate to, and I figure maybe some other people can too, where you feel like you're stuck. Grew up all over South Minneapolis, moved around a lot around Uptown, and a little bit over by Minnehaha Falls. I just wanted these guys to walk through some of that stuff.
The opening scene of the film is at First Avenue, or at least where these characters first meet. And then we end up going through like a tour of Minneapolis, South Minneapolis, from the Walker through Loring Park.
The Greenway. Of course, when I was a kid, the Greenway was just the railroad tracks with like graffiti all over the place, and I was kind of missing that.
It's been so fun, like, exploring the city, especially with people who live here and who have lived here their whole lives.
Minneapolis is a very important place for me personally because I've spent time in a lot of other cities, and I grew up here, and it is such a remarkably liberal and artistic city. This is where all my friends are, and I have a wide community of collaborators and people who inspire me and people that I like to work with.
The community of artists here is really cool. It's very different than being in New York or LA. I now feel pretty well acquainted. It's a great city. I really love it.
If you know the city, you're gonna recognize a lot of stuff.
Basically a story about two people spending the night together in the streets of Minneapolis.
We will have a big opening night party here in Minneapolis.
This is probably the audience that I'm most excited to show it to.
Totally. I'll be here.
There are nights when I think that South Paradise was right. Boys and girls in America, they're such a sad time together.